Anti-ICE agitators in Minnesota plan an economic blackout today. It's part of their protest dubbed the Day of Truth and Freedom. It comes as 3 anti-ICE demonstrators were arrested and charged with disrupting a church service in St. Paul. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf joins me now. The church protesters, I don't think they represent the people of Minnesota, do they? They're all radicals.
Yeah, I think that's right, Stuart. You know, you see a lot of folks protesting the fact of these arrests, but I think it's very simple, which is you can exercise your First Amendment rights to protest and to be, you know, very loud. You just can't do that on private property, right? If you're not invited in, you need to do that outside on a public sidewalk. And then, of course, there are federal laws as well that protect places of worship, making sure that you're not disrupting that. So this is a very straightforward case. That, you know, they broke the law and now they're being held accountable and they don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, the Biden administration would have never held them accountable. The Trump administration is, the Department of Justice is, because they broke the law. And they simply don't like that.
One of those arrested was a woman who's a Black Lives Matter activist. And the mayor of Minneapolis is now saying she committed no crime. She should be released. This is nonsense.
Well, it is nonsense, and the mayor's nonsense, and we've seen that now for a couple of weeks. This is the mentality that they have there, which is if you break the law, it's okay. As long as we think you're doing it for the right reasons, then you should be released and you shouldn't be held accountable. And it's exactly the wrong message to send, because it encourages more and more to follow suit and to break the law. Look, if they want to protest, do it outside the church, do it on public property, not private property, and you'll likely not have an issue. But if you want to, you know, go in and cause a stir and do all of that, then you're going to be held accountable.
The mob in Minneapolis is calling for no shopping, no working, and no school today. They call it a day of truth and freedom.
Well,
look, to me, that
I mean,
means,
if they want to hurt...
I'm sorry, Chad, but to me, this is open opportunity for intimidation. If a business does open, the mob doesn't like it, and they'll intimidate them. This is all wrong.
It's crazy. It harkens back to 2020 when businesses suffered because of local policy. So that's what they are advocating for, is let's close businesses. Let's have those small business owners and others that make a living from making sure that they have their storefronts open. Let's cause them so much pain that they join our side. And it's crazy. You're exactly right. It's intimidation, and it shouldn't be the case.
It should not. Chad, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino just held a press conference. He wanted to set the record straight on ICE operations in Minneapolis. Watch this.
Experts in dealing with children. Let me say that again. Experts in dealing with children. Not because we want to be, but because we have to be. Over those past 4 years, hundreds of thousands of children were trafficked across that border.
This is about the five-year-old boy,
Yeah.
I believe. And, of course, the mob is going after ICE on this issue, and they got the story totally wrong. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was watching some coverage today, and they continued to say that ICE apprehended a 5-year-old boy, and that's simply not true.
It's not true.
That is actually fake news. It's the definition of fake news, which is, when a father runs away from ICE, he abandoned his child in a car. They had an ICE officer sit there. They apprehended the father, and then they removed both of them to a detention facility. Now, had they not removed both of them to a detention facility and they would have separated them, the left would have gone crazy and say, well, you're separating families. So ICE is in this position. They can't win no matter what they do. But this type of incident occurs every day in law enforcement. Every single day, a father or a mother does something and they have to be separated, at least temporarily, from their child and then reunited at some point as well. So we see this on and on. Of course, with the ICE in Minneapolis, it's taking on a different tenor.
The trouble is, most people will not see the truthful version of what happened.
Right.
If you don't watch Fox, you're not getting the truth. The media is on the side of these anti-ICE protesters. They are consistently whipping up this fever pitch of opposition. And I keep going back to it. It's just plain wrong.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would even say that they're culpable. It's not just they are not reporting on the full story. They're doing it with an intention behind the fact that they're not covering that. They are not for ICE. They want ICE to look bad, on and on and on. And so they purposely withhold very critical details of stories. And we saw this a month or so ago where they said ICE, went into a school and tried to arrest people, which wasn't the case. Again, someone absconded from ICE and ran into a school, and ICE had to detain them there as well. So the details matter, particularly when it comes to law enforcement operations.
One more for you, Chad. Arizona Attorney General Kris suggested her state's Stand Your Ground law could cause trouble with ICE agents. Watch this.
It's kind of a recipe for disaster because you have these masked federal officers with very little identification, sometimes no identification, wearing plain clothes and masks. And we have a stand your ground law that says that if you reasonably believe that your life is in danger and you're in your house or your car or on your property, that you can defend yourself with lethal force.
In other words, shoot ICE officers. What do you make of those remarks, Chad?
I mean, it just grossly irresponsible. I can't believe that she's, frankly, an adult, much less anyone of any stature there in Arizona. Stand your ground laws don't apply to law enforcement. Those ICE officers are going after criminal illegal aliens. So what she is saying is it's okay for a criminal illegal alien to shoot a police officer. It's wild. It's obviously grandstanding. It's a political stunt by the AG there. She knows she's in the wrong. She's probably getting a lot of pushback right now from her law enforcement community because she's not just talking about ICE. I mean, basically that implies to any law enforcement there in the state of Arizona. And it's a wild comment.
It is indeed. Chad, thanks for joining us this morning. Avoid the storm, and we'll see you next week. See you later.
Thank you.